Okay, so for a long time, I resisted being just a mom. But recently, I have realized that I have been using my motherhood as a cover to hide because I'm afraid that I am behind. You want peanut butter? So, motherhood gave me a legitimate excuse to hide. It's schedule heavy, it's super busy, and when you tell people that you have 1, 2, 3 kids, they're like, oh, yeah, get it. There's teaching, there's disciplining, there's no, you may not negotiate another 5 minutes for screen time. Did you floss? Why are you missing the toilet when you pee? I don't understand that. There's just so much going on when it comes to the role of being a mother. I just started to feel safe hiding behind it because there were a lot of tasks to do. And I just convinced myself that this is just the role I'm in right now. This is just the calling, the assignment, the one assignment I've got, and that's it. I convinced myself that I am at the mercy of the needs and the priority of having little people, which can be true, but I made it the central focus of my life. And I felt safe. And I was like, I'll just wait till things plateau out. And I will then revisit what I feel like the Lord has been nudging me about, ideas that I feel like I have gotten inspired from the Lord. I just was making excuses and using those excuses to delay and disobey. Ooh, yes. I was using something inherently good, actually a role and a call that the Lord gave to me to steward, and turned that thing around and was like, actually, Lord, when I'm done with this, when I feel capable enough, I will then revisit what you have told me or what you have been nudging me toward. So I essentially was using something inherently good to disobey the Lord. And when I realized that, what shock and awe that was. Because growing up in church, I just didn't realize that you could use good things to disobey the Lord. You know what I mean? Like it's good. It can't hurt, right? But that's really just not the point. And I really noticed this when my husband's job kind of changed. He started traveling a bit more, and there were just days where I realized like, oh, I've got to haul all of this by myself. And it was hard and it was new, and I had kind of dug myself into this rut of just being a mom because I felt safer there. Things felt more in control, and it was easier just to kind of let go. And I think growing up, you heard, or at least I heard in movies, oh, she let herself go. She stopped trying this, that, and the other. And I always thought that was kind of harsh. But being a mom now, I'm like, oh, no, I get it. I get it, because it's so easy to just let go and kind of let the current take you, especially in motherhood, because it's overstimulating, it's overwhelming at times. And while it is very fulfilling, I think that allowing myself to drift with the current and not be tuned in to what the Lord wants me to do, what He's trying to give me to steward, I really felt that once we were in that transition. And don't get me wrong, if you're listening to this and you're kind of feeling this tension, I took a long time to admit this out loud to the Lord. I took a while because I felt the tension. You know, my husband and I would talk about it like, yeah, people just see me as a mom, like whatever, I don't like that. And then it changed from like, no, I don't want to do anything if it's not surrounded around motherhood. I don't want to. Is it dropping off kids? Is it taking them to doctors? No, I'll just wait. And I just saw, looking back, all of the conversations kind of changing over time. And it was because I had decided that this was the one thing the Lord was asking me to do right now. And I'm just going to hang on to that. Once we entered into that new season with my husband's job change, I had to start overcoming the decision I made and the fallout of that decision to put my role as a mom over being just a girl who's following the Lord. Right. And I think, I'm going to always be a mom. I think that's probably one of the best gifts that the Lord has ever given us, is the ability to be responsible for other people, whether it be as a mom or a caretaker, whatever the case. I think that is one of the best positions, if you will, I've ever had, because it really gives you insight into what you don't control, what you don't know, but then also it softens your heart. It really makes you sensitive to another person. But with all of that being said, I essentially glorified my role over being someone who's humbly at the Lord's feet, trying to be obedient and sensitive to the things that He's asking her to do. And I know I sound like a totally different person than I was like just even last year. But over the last couple of years, I've just slowly kind of chipped away at, I don't know that the Lord has asked me to be just a mom. I don't know that all of these gifts and skills and things that He's given me, He wants me to just allow it to accrue dust, and then I'll get back to it when it's good for me. You know what I mean? I think it really takes me out of being dependent on Him, because I've made this bubble safe. Like, I've made being a mom and, picking up and dropping off and packing lunches. Actually, my husband does the picking up and the dropping off. I do it sometimes, but he does it like 89% of the time. So I'm just talking about the times that I do it, but just for reference, he does it most of the time. But I just put myself and all of these duties that I had above the Lord, essentially. And honestly, I'm ashamed to say it out loud, but it's a reality, I believe, because we tend to do that. And maybe it's not motherhood. Maybe if I was, if I ran a big company, I'd probably do that the same. I think that it's just the heart posture, right? If it's hard for me, if it's causing me anxiety, I'm just going to try to whittle it down to what I can control, and then I'm going to move forward. I do not believe that is how the Lord wants us to operate at all. And looking back, I wasn't really postured to run to the Lord about this, because like I said, I built the bubble. I was okay with just, these are the tasks, this is how the day is going to go, and blah, 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 blah. And if you've watched any of my recent videos, I've been talking about how I've been reading the Psalms fairly vigorously over the last 2 years. I've told my sister and my husband several times, I don't know why the Lord is keeping me in the Psalms. It's just a feeling that I have that I just need to study them. And one of my favorite Psalms, actually, is Psalm 51. And in that Psalm, David writes, "For you will not delight in sacrifice, or I would give it. You will not be pleased with a burnt offering. The sacrifices of God are a broken spirit and a contrite heart, O God, you will not despise." And I've read that many times. Psalm 51 is just a very dear one to my heart. It's like a large part of my testimony and how I feel about the Lord. But I really believe that sometimes the Lord does give you a lot so that you can be broken and soft in the heart, so that you will run to Him for strength. And the challenges that He gives you bring you closer to Him. And you know, I've been a believer most of my life. I said yes to the Lord when I was 12, and there's a part of me that is a little bit ashamed because I'm like, I should know this. I should know this. I should know that the Lord gives me challenges, so I will run to Him. Why have I not got it yet? I think honestly, with every new season and every just new phase of life that I enter into, I almost need like a manual to configure and calibrate myself, because I need the reminder that I'm not, while He's using my gifts, while He is asking me and trusting me to steward a thing, that doesn't necessarily mean that He's asking me to take it on and then report back. You know, I really believe that He wants me to walk steadily with Him, kind of like a kid does, you know, like they're jumping around and they're checking, oh, yep, Mom's still here. I'm still walking with her. You know, I think the Lord wants us to do that. I think the Lord wants us to constantly be in conversation with Him about where He has us and where He's allowed us to be and what He's allowed us to steward. I got one more thing. This is not in Psalms, but it is in Proverbs. And it's referenced a lot if you've ever, women talk about it a lot, especially if you're a believer. Proverbs 31 woman is like a thing. And while it doesn't talk about motherhood that much in here, it talks about a wife. I mean, it does mention motherhood, but it's about being a wife. I just want to point out here that she's got a lot of things she's doing. She's selecting the wool. She's bringing food from afar. She's cooking the food while she gets up in the middle of the night to make food for her family. She considers a field and buys it. She sets about her work vigorously. She sees her trading as profitable. She grasps the spindle with her fingers. She's open to the poor. She's making coverings for her household, her bed, there's just a lot that this woman is doing in Proverbs 31, which to me kind of symbolizes like she's got a lot of hats she wears. There's a lot of things that she's got juggling, and maybe this is just the nature of the woman. Maybe it's just, this is the way that the Lord tasks us. This is the way He assigns us to many, many things, because He knows that we're able to handle it. You know what I mean? I don't want to get into men versus women, but also. So I wrote this down when I was thinking about doing this video, and I'm just going to read it to you guys because I think it kind of sums up what I'm feeling. The sacrifice I'm making as a mom does not justify my lack of engagement and faithfulness to the Lord. My willingness to be broken and vulnerable with the God I say I love was the issue. I should be giving Him my fears and moving in faith, answering the call and walking where He's leading, while also stewarding what He's already given me. Is it that time already? My children are home. Wait. Hello. Oh my gosh. Hi. What? I got a 99 on my vocabulary. Oh, wow. Ah, y'all smell like outside. And we're back. I did not get to get back in front of the camera last night, which again, if you're a parent of any kind, you know sometimes you just have to resume later. So we're resuming later. So here we are, final thoughts. Maybe I am behind, and maybe everybody knows it, but I think what I have come to is using things in my life that the Lord has asked me to steward that are inherently good, to then turn around and disobey Him and go against what I believe He's asked me to do or called me to walk into, or whatever the case is the issue. I think my fear of being behind or being seen or even having too much on my plate is something for me to deal with Him, something for me to run to and ask Him about, and not really be concerned, honestly, with my emotions, which is why I end up here all the time anyways, because I become emotional and I let my emotions rule me. And yeah, we're just not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to do that anymore. So in 2026 or whenever you're watching this, yeah, we're not going to delay anymore because we feel our feelings. We have to have faith that the Lord is faithful. We have to look back on our lives to see that He has been faithful. I think we have to just keep reminding ourselves of who He is. He's constant, He's steady, He's faithful, He's just, and He cares. So, yeah. Shall we make some bread? Actually, let's make some pizza dough because these people are gonna want pizza for dinner. Swing from the doorways.
How does he know if you're sleeping? I take camera crystal ball. Yes, he does. He screws up. A drawing of the wood. Okay, here we go. Well, take my cat.
Hey, sit down.